Hello, and today we are going to deal with the next work, that is River of Stories. River of Stories is an important Indian graphic novel written and illustrated by Orijit Sen. It was first published in 1994, and this is India's first graphic novel. And the most characteristic feature of this novel is that there is a combination of storytelling, activism, and journalism to show how nature, especially forests and rivers, is exploited in the name of progress. The story develops firstly through the interaction between Vishnu, who is a journalist, and an Adivasi migrant worker that her name is Relko. It is through Relku's personal experience that Vishnu understands the facts of the society. The novel questions the idea of development and highlights the injustice faced by the indigenous community. In this novel, there are three parts. The first one is the spring, the second one is the river, and the third is the sea. Now, this text is mainly eco-critical text because it deals with the exploitations of nature, the representation of nature. So, one of the major eco-critical concerns in the graphic novel is deforestation and the destruction of tribal land. In the first part, titled The Spring, the story begins with Relku working as a migrant domestic worker in Vishnu's house. One day, Vishnu begins to question her about her life and asks her why she left her village and came to the city. Relko then opens up and narrates her painful experiences. Through her story, the readers learn about how government officials build roads in Balanpur, a village near the Rewa River. Rewa is another name for Narmada River. The official reason for constructing the road is to provide easy access to the forest and bring development. However, the real intention is to allow industries and outsiders to enter the forest region, begin developmental projects, and dislocate the tribals. So, here the novel highlights how these forest dwellers are not given proper compensation and are forcefully removed from their homelands. Also, Relko narrates how corruption and exploitation destroyed her family. She explains how her uncle was trapped into alcoholism and debt by powerful officials and businessmen. Their house was burned and their land was illegally taken away. Even though the villagers knew that Rathore, a government supporter, was responsible for these actions, they had no evidence or authority to fight against him. It is through Relko's life story the novel reveals how development projects often bring suffering, poverty, and injustice to tribal communities. Towards the end of the section, Vishnu becomes deeply moved by her story and decides to travel and find out more about the Narmada Andolan and the struggles of displaced people. Now, in the spring, another character is also introduced, that is Malgu Gayan. Now, he represents the indigenous ecological wisdom. The term indigenous means within the local community. That means he is a dweller of the forest. He sings songs about the creation of the world using his musical instrument called rangai. His songs reflect the spiritual and cultural connection between humans and nature. Through this character, the novel suggests that tribal communities possess valuable knowledge about living in harmony with nature. Now let's come to the second part of the novel, that is the river. This focuses on the Narmada Valley project and also the plan to construct a large dam across the Narmada River. Narmada River is also known as Riva. So the government officials present the dam as a symbol of modernization and progress. They also say that through this project, 1450 megawatts of electricity will be provided. Also, there will be irrigation and drinking water to drought prone regions. These are the benefits which the government claims. However, in the novel questions these promises and reveals the hidden environmental and human cost of such projects. In reality, these large dams will disturb the natural flow of rivers. It will lead to deforestation. It will lead the poor tribals to dislocate from their homes. And also, this can destroy the ecosystem, and many other problems will affect because of this project. Now, after hearing Relko's story and witnessing the suffering of the tribal communities, Vishnu undergoes a transformation. He moves from being a journalist to becoming actively involved in environmental activism. The novel includes Gandhiji's very famous quote: "The earth has enough for everyone's needs, but not enough for anyone's greed." And this highlights the dangers of human greed and the exploitation of natural resources. So, this part strongly emphasizes the need for sustainable and balanced development. Now, let's come to the third part, that is the sea. Now, this presents the long term consequences of the developmental projects. It shows how industrialization, pollution, environmental destruction continue to damage ecosystems and human communities. The novel suggests that development projects often lead to environmental imbalance, water pollution, loss of biodiversity. It also shows that the benefits of development projects are mainly enjoyed by the rich people, otherwise, the urban population and powerful industrial groups. However, it affects the marginalized and the tribal people, and they become displaced as well as poor. Another important eco-critical concern in this novel is environmental injustice and unequal development. The graphic novel clearly shows that development projects do not benefit all sections of society equally. The graphic novel also strongly promotes environmental activism. Through Vishnu's transformation and involvement in the protest movement, the novel encourages readers to question destructive development policies and support environmental justice movements like Narmada Bachao Andolan. It suggests that true development should respect ecological balance, protect indigenous communities, and promote sustainable living. So, these are the three parts of this novel. Here, mostly one of the most important questions that comes from this novel is what are the eco-critical concerns in the story, The River of Stories by Orijit. So, learn one answer for this, and you'll be able to get good marks in your exam. Thank you.